Why should big oil and big coal enter the agro-energy sector? Big oil and coal have been very successful in delivering the energy that society uses today. We enjoy what this energy has brought us, such as cars, planes, technology, houses, travel and almost instantaneous electricity. However, big energy dig up hydrocarbons to use as energy. Hydrocarbons come from carbon life forms, primarily plants. These plants have taken carbon from the atmosphere to grow, have entered the soils and ultimately ended up deep in the ground under huge pressure, resulting in their conversion to coal, oil or gas reserves for energy companies. Bear in mind that this deep ground carbon should stay in the ground as nature intended. Instead, we dig it up and burn it for our energy, causing emissions which cause global warming and climate change. Essentially, hydrocarbons are finite as they take millions of years to migrate from the atmosphere to the deep ground. This means they will run out. As these resources are used, they are replaced with other sources of finite hydrocarbons that get harder and harder to recover, being even deeper in the ground or in a more environmentally sensitive extraction zone. This means that they ultimately become more expensive and more risky to recover. In fact, most oil and gas reserves are assessed by third parties and are called off-balance sheet reserves. What this means is that the political, environmental and technical risks of recovery of these hydrocarbons means that they must be adjusted to reflect their risk of recovery to allow them be applied onto a balance sheet at a reduced value reflective of these risks. Big oil, gas and coal have a number of problems with their current business model. They are not sustainable as they will eventually run out of energy source hydrocarbons. Before that, they will, more than likely, be forced out of business as a result of the 87 million tons of daily fossil fuel emissions causing climate change. This results in trillions of dollars of accruing liabilities from knowingly causing loss and harm from the pollutions as a consequences of their corporate actions. Publicly, energy companies are on very thin ice with their consumers due to the clear profiteering from energy pressures in the global markets of their own making. What if they could actually transition to a sustainable business model that actually reverses climate change and delivers natural energy forever? What if they could produce this energy with controls on costs and scale and feed this into their energy markets? These big energy companies can keep their power stations and refineries but lose their drilling rigs and replace them with tractors and bioreactors, a lot simpler and safer machinery than they use today. This would dynamically reduce the risk of production and for the environment. Energy production would be cheaper and nationally centralized, decoupling from global markets. Their energy reserves are now farmers growing energy crops for oils, gasoline, coal or gas equivalent energy sources. These energy resources would be on balance sheet current assets, with the farm contracts for future years being the valuation. This identifies a need for energy to align with agriculture. Can you imagine the management, capital, expertise, technology of big energy integrated with the capabilities and scale of agriculture? Add to this that AgroEnergy has a much larger portfolio than oil, gas and coal equivalent crops. Forestry is an energy resource for construction or burning. This alone adds billions of dollars of potential growth to energy companies today, looking at ultimate decline and loss in the not-too-distant future if they fail to transition. If you are a shareholder of any oil, gas or coal stocks, or you invest in funds which hold hydrocarbon or energy investments, then you should ask them why they have not made the transition. It just makes great business sense. Thanks for watching another Efficiency Professor Media presentation.